this one landed on the desk and said, there's this thing where we've created this system for the whole planet where there's 3 words that tell you where everything is. And you go, oh, that's definitely not going to win. Because it's just, no, it definitely doesn't exist. So I'm so pleased that Giles is here to tell us. This is a few years ago now that I first saw this. So it's changed a huge amount. And it's very interesting to see the way these ideas develop and get embedded. So Giles, please tell us more about What3Words.
Thanks very much. Hey, so I did a bit of it in the panel, but as a quick recap, because it can be quite difficult to get your head around. The world is really badly addressed. Talking about location is very difficult. Street addressing is not particularly accurate, and it doesn't cover everywhere, for example. The UN have said that 75% of the countries in the world don't have a well-maintained street addressing system, and that also there's 4 billion people in the world that don't have an address. And that was something that we wanted to change. And we thought, what systems are out there? You've got GPS coordinates, which are fantastically accurate, but it's just impossible to remember unless you're a machine or a highly trained geographer. And if you add the alphabet to those 18 digits of lat long, you can shrink it to an alphanumeric code of like TNZ4821Y3. It's not much easier to remember than anything else. So when the team were kind of coming up with the idea, there was a dictionary on the table, and they thought, well, actually, how many words would you need to address the world? You know, if we divide the world into 3 meter squares, 3 meters is small enough to be useful. It also means there's 57 trillion of them. We get an English word list of 40,000 words. 40,000 cubed gives us, come on, 64 trillion. And that gives you enough to give every single one a unique 3-word address. So that's the system. We have a very, very small algorithm of about 12 megabytes that works totally offline, that converts long and complex GPS coordinates to words and back again. And that's it. We're not trying to replace street addresses. If you have an address that works, fantastic. If it's maybe not as specific as it needs to be, then you can add a 3-word address to that system to help out the delivery driver or the friend. 26 different languages: Arabic, Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, and many others. And interesting, actually, we're quite big in Mongolia. We have an office there. We have 3 people there. Mongolia was I don't know if you've ever been. It is an amazing place. Basically, you've got horizon to horizon and a house, and that's it. Third of the country are nomadic. They're moving from place to place on a fairly regular basis. The Mongolian Postal Service was the first service who adopted us. We're now used by 9 others. And in Mongolia, you can get Pizza Hut delivered to a 3-word address. You can get a taxi to pick you up from a 3-word address. You can get a parcel. E-commerce has been enabled to thrive because now people can get deliveries. You can obviously get post. And the country's biggest bank now accepts a 3-word address if you want to get a credit card. So you get this whole big ecosystem building up around 3-word addresses, which is fantastic. So as I said, we've got a free app, and then for businesses, they take our code and they build our code into their own services. So we have a profit and purpose business model, which means that for people like the Philippine Red Cross, the UNDP, and a bunch of other charities and NGOs, we give our code away free, or they can use our app for free. For businesses that can make or save a considerable amount of money or improve customer experience, we levy a charge based on volume. So UPS have said if they can save each of their drivers 1 mile per driver per day, that's a $50 million saving immediately. And if you think about how you got here today, that couple of minutes, a couple of 100 yards, if I'm doing that 200 times as the delivery driver, that's a mile very, very, very quickly. For those sorts of companies, we levy a small charge to build in our code. So it's super interesting, a very, very simple idea that was born out of the kind of music industry, organizing parties and events and being frustrated with the current addressing system. Came this idea that since we won the award at 5 people, we're now 50, and it's being used from Mongolia to Mercedes, from informal settlements to kind of supercars, and the fact that it's providing a very simple addressing system is fantastic. We're on a mission. We want to change the world. We want to become a globally accepted standard for communicating location. We want to make the world much more efficient. We want to make it much less frustrating, and we want to make it safer. Thank you.